Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Told to just come give you a friendly reminder. If you do come into it, be aware it's for your own protection as well.
Yeah. Could you tell me who told you to come here? Was it like your superiors in Calgary or in Ottawa?
Well, we're on behalf of the RCMP, our bosses. Mm-hmm. Obviously, our main bosses go all the way up to Ottawa. So that's
Did I break any laws?
No.
Justin Trudeau's police officers just knocked on my door, and they threatened me. They pulled out a tweet of mine and told me not to go one step further in my publications that expose their boss, Justin Trudeau. This is Canadian journalism in 2021. Now, not for everyone, I suppose. If I worked for the CBC, the cops wouldn't have come to my door at my home, where I live, where my family lives. But then again, if I worked for the CBC, I wouldn't have dared to have published this document. What just happened to me has changed how I see the Canadian government, my own government. Everyone talks about Justin Trudeau abusing his power and silencing journalists and bringing our country in line with China, his favorite dictatorship. I knew we were heading in this direction. I think a lot of people did. But I didn't think it would hit me so fast. Or at my home. To give you some context, I just published something that was deeply embarrassing, to say the least, to Justin Trudeau and to China. I was leaked documents, this one in particular, by a senior member of the Canadian Armed Forces. These documents show that the first people who were likely infected by the Wuhan flu, COVID-19, were military adversaries to the Chinese at the Military World Games in Wuhan, China, 2019, end of October. Look it up. This was before there were any whispers of a virus at all. Canada and other NATO countries returned home with a brutal pneumonia and assorted critical symptoms. The Canadian plane was quarantined. That's how bad it was. Months after the fact, when Canadian intelligence had a grasp of the facts, Trudeau's government decided not to test those soldiers. Confirming antibodies in those soldiers would upend the agreed-upon narrative by the WHO, China, Xi Jinping, and Trudeau that this virus was born in a wet market. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But Trudeau's government wasn't going to be the ones to get on Xi Jinping's bad side and break that news to the world, so he refused health care to Canadian soldiers. It's all there in the sensitive military documents that I published. This one. Keep in mind, they were not classified. Secret, top secret, none of that. All this is to say is Trudeau is furious. He's angry at those who published the story, republished the story. He's angry about how widely the story has spread. He's angry that there are whistleblowers in his army. And he's angry that his pet reporters at the CBC were not given the time to soften the blow to his ego and to his diplomatic relationship or romantic relationship with Xi Jinping. The story went viral. It was republished over and over again in LifeSite News and China in Focus, seen 500,000 times. The most critical member of Trudeau on the defense file, Member of Parliament Bob Benson, even weighed in on this. This story was growing bigger and bigger by the day. And then I got a knock on my door at home.
Hey,
Hi.
Mr. Bexte?
Sorry, who's this?
I'm with the RCMP, Constable Wiley.
What for?
I'm with the federal unit here in Calgary, and this is Corporal Jolly.
Is it Keean?
What's going on?
Is it okay if we step in for a quick
No.
private conversation for 2 seconds?
No.
Okay. No, that's fine. We can talk out here.
Are you going to speak with us?
What's this regarding?
Just in regards to, so we've been asked to come here and speak with you today, okay? And like I said, we're with the RCMP here in Calgary.
Do you mind if I record this conversation?
We prefer if it's private. We're not recording anything.
Just because we want to chat with you.
Yeah.
About what though? What's this?
I'll explain it, okay?
But we prefer if it wasn't recorded. But that's...
Well, I mean, I have to.
Okay.
So it's in regards to a tweet that was sent out January 8th. Do you know which one I'm referring to?
No.
Okay.
A tweet. They came to a reporter's door because of a tweet. This is the one they showed me. I said, you know what? Our pothead prime minister has really pissed me off, so I'm moving up the schedule. I've interviewed military personnel, and I'm going to publish sensitive documents that were leaked to me. Enjoy, Justin, this is going to bite. And bite it did. For some perspective, the RCMP just came to a reporter's door about a tweet. This isn't just the cops, right? The fuzz, the 5-0 in town. This is the RCMP, Canada's equivalent to the feds, to the FBI. And just like in the United States, they do the bidding of politicians, most notably politicians in Ottawa and Justin Trudeau.
So, just wanted to let you know that we reviewed the items that you had put out there, and there's no issues with any of that, okay? We're not worried about materials that's non-classified, okay?
What it really comes down to, I've just been asked to come here, just because of some of the nature of the text that it was sensitive material potentially.
Sure.
I published the military documents weeks ago. They knew what was in them. They knew what the story was about, and they knew that I followed the law. They knew I didn't break any law. The information that I published was surely sensitive. It was deeply embarrassing to Trudeau, but it was not a violation of any law for me to publish it. They knew this perfectly well.
So we've been asked to come here just as a professional friendly reminder. I know in your journalistic job, you meet with people, sources, exchange information. I get all that.
Yeah.
It's just to be cognizant that if you do come into sometimes a classified or sensitive material, just be aware that possession or acquisition or distribution could be an offense. So I don't know if you're familiar with the SOIA, Security of Information Act. That's mainly what will deal with this. I'm not an expert on it. You can Google it and it'll give you kind of a summary of what it is.
Sure.
And even kind of like it'll help explain kind of what might be classified or sensitive. So that's all. We're just doing our job.
I'm not an expert on
So let's get this straight. The RCMP came to my home as a professional and friendly reminder. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Don't look at my gun.
it. So we've been asked to come here just as a professional friendly reminder.
To teach me about an act that they're apparently not even experts in. So why them? Why the RCMP? Well, it's because they'll tell you in a moment that their command comes straight from Ottawa.
Told to just come give you a friendly reminder. If you do come into it, be aware it's for your own protection as well.
Yeah. Could you tell me who told you to come here? Was it
Well,
like your
obviously
superiors in Calgary or in Ottawa?
we're on behalf of the RCMP, our bosses. Obviously, our main bosses go all the way up to Ottawa.
All the way up in Ottawa, eh? I wonder who could possibly be there and who would be so upset that I published what I published.
So that's
Did
it.
I
It's
break any laws?
No.
Unlike the RCMP, apparently, I'm actually an expert in the Security of Information Act. I've read it cover to cover time and time again, and I'm actually subjected to it for the rest of my life, since the RCMP themselves vetted me and gave me secret level security clearance when I worked for the Harper government. That was back before this particular police force was owned and operated by Trudeau. I broke no laws in publishing the facts and documents that I've published. Sure, those facts showed that Trudeau is running defense for China, for Xi Jinping, at the expense of our men and women in uniform. But I didn't break any laws. Despite that, Ottawa sent feds to a reporter's home in Canada in 2021 to intimidate me and my family. Now, if you're wondering what their game is here, it's not to necessarily just scare me. I mean, I've gone toe-to-toe with riot police in Hong Kong. I've had Chinese men in suits leave spyware in my hotel room in Hong Kong. I've been roughed up by Greta Thunberg's armed guards in Stockholm. I'm not scared of the police or what they'll do to me. But when they come to my home, where my partner lives, when they make them feel unsafe, that's a whole different ballgame. My partner asks me every single day to find a new job. Every day. But I can't quit because the job's not done. And if I don't do it, nobody else will. But that is what Trudeau is hoping for. Things are getting out of hand faster than anyone could have predicted. Mass censorship online, mass arrests of protesters in Toronto, in their town square, in public, police acting like it's Russia, Moscow, Beijing, feds knocking on reporters' doors to intimidate them. And Trudeau is getting more and more tyrannical as the days go by. If you're in the military, the Department of Finance, Foreign Affairs, wherever you may be, the most patriotic thing you can do right now is to inform on your government, on Justin Trudeau. Now, don't break any laws. Don't violate the Security of Information Act, especially that act. But if you have any information that needs to see the light of day, like what this brave soldier sent me so that I could share it with you, please send me an email in strict confidence to keean.bexte@rebelnews.com. Now, that's only half of my job. The other half is sharing that information that I get with you. The federal government is trying to intimidate me out of the first half of my job. And Silicon Valley, well, they're trying to roadblock me on the second half. The best way we can protect ourselves is to bypass Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey altogether. Thank you for tuning into our coverage here at Rebel News. We rely on your support to do the work that we do, but more important than any of that right now, we need to be able to stay in contact with you. If you go to standwithkeean.com, that's Keean, you'll be able to sign up to my mailing list. You can click what you want to hear about. There's a neat little menu there. Unclick what you don't want to hear about. We'll send you emails directly from the horse's mouth without the interference from the feds or from the oligarchs at Silicon Valley.